Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. All right, so it's time to get started on this Halloween journal. And my first step is I want to take some of this distress paint. I had distress stain there as well, which I don't think I used, if I remember right. And then some of that mica spray. And I want to kind of get these pages to look a little spookier. So basically, here's my process. I have a glass mat there, the Tim Holtz glass media mat, and I just put a little blob of paint down, not too much actually. That was a bit more than I should have done, and I did not water it down as much as I should have, but that's okay. It always looks a little worse until when they dry. They look great, so don't worry if that's you. And if it does ruin it, guess what? It's paper. You can redo it. So anyway, the what I'm doing is I had printed off a bunch of copyright-free spooky images that I found on Pixabay and Pexels.com. So if you're ever looking for copyright-free images and you want free ones, those are two really good resources to go after. And I found some really good ones there and just decided to include them in this journal because I want to make a spooky and scary journal. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting some scratch paper down on my table to protect it from the wet papers that I'm going to be stacking there once I'm done dyeing them. So yeah, it's basically my process. I just put a little bit of paint down, water it down, and then do the dip method. And I don't tend to do both sides. I just do the back side because the paint will show through on the front side. So here, yeah, you can see I'm adding more water and trying to corral that there. But yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and let you watch my process, and I'll meet back with you at the end. so here we have the end product. Hope you enjoyed watching this and joining me in this process. As you can see, like I was mentioning, well, maybe I didn't mention it, I was probably just thinking it, but the paint does dry quite a bit lighter than it was when it was wet. So even that very first one that looked, and I said I had used too much paint, in the end it turned out really fine anyway, and very, very cool, I think. So super spooky. But yeah, so I encourage you to try this process if you haven't before. And here I'm using black, but you know, you could use any color of paint. If you wanted to use brown, that might be a really interesting way to distress your pages, or maybe a mixture of brown and black to kind of get an interesting look that way. I've actually also used bright colors to do different types of journals. I've never used maybe pastel, or if I have, I don't remember off the top of my head, but that would be also really kind of cool to try. It's just a nice subtle way to make your pages look really interesting. I think especially with some scrapbook papers that have a white background, this is a really easy way to kind of make them more interesting if you don't want to tea or coffee dye those. So yeah, so I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know how it goes. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.